Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. We'll talk to experts and business leaders. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Raphael is the founder of 5 unique shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York.
Good morning. How are you guys? Thank you so much for joining me on Business Prowess. Today's conversation, I'm super excited. I have Victoria and Spencer joining me, and we're going to be talking about the possibilities are endless, not only in business, but in your life. So welcome aboard, guys. How are you?
Good to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy Friday.
That's it. You know, I got to tell you, you said something that is very inspirational, because I have a coach who I've become friends with, and every Friday for probably the last 2 years, he sends me a Happy Friday, Coach, every Friday without fail. So talk about somebody who keeps you in mind, right? That's an incredible thing, and he's an incredible human being. So what can I say? So happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
So let's talk about why we think that the possibilities are endless in business. Isn't just you go to work and that's it? Isn't that how business works? You work for somebody or you work for yourself? Talk to me. What does that mean?
You want to go, Victoria?
Sure. Thanks, Spencer. So for me, I'm a big believer in following your passion. First of all, you should enjoy what you're doing. However, I also love the Japanese philosophy of ikigai. If you're familiar with that, around, do not only what you enjoy, what you're good at, what you can get paid for. And so it's a blend of those things. And don't get me wrong, I think there's times in our lives where you need a job to put food on the table. But for me, it's about purpose and impact much more so than the paycheck alone.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. I think the philosophy that money comes later in life or later in the endeavor is a great philosophy to have, because making others feel happy, making others feel good about themselves, if you can do those things in your business, you get the self-reward of feeling amazing about that. And so I've found that a business that allows you to be invaluable to other people makes you a success right off the bat. The money will come with that. And as I can attest, just being a good person to other people allows your business to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that you're both talking about is definitely thinking beyond yourself, if you will, right?
Yep.
And I think that one of the things that really helps with the possibilities are endless is communication. So we need to communicate those messages not only to ourselves, but to our employers, our employees, whatever stage in business we're in, we need to be able to communicate, correct?
Yep. So
Very much so.
we have to be able to get across our message to our audience. And if they don't understand what we're trying to accomplish or what we achieve or what we believe in, the lack of a message doesn't resonate with anyone else. And that's part of what business is resonating. The businesses that are successful have a message that people buy into, whether it's just the slogan and or the mission statement, it has to resonate with others.
Mm-hmm. You know, I agree, and it does have to resonate with others. And I got to tell you, we have an incredible human being who's joining us right now. And welcome, Dr. Andrea Adams. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm talking to you live from Vegas after already starting all the Super Bowl parties.
Already?
Not a bad place to be.
Yes.
Well, happy to have you. So today we're definitely, and you're talking about Super Bowl parties, and we're talking about the possibilities are endless. And even right there, the possibilities are endless. Even when we think about what's going to happen at the Super Bowl, and even the business that's going to be made due to the Super Bowl, the billions of dollars that are going to be made, and people are betting, people are in Vegas for so many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons right now is the Super Bowl, and that's why you're there.
It's been quite fun. Talking about business and making money. Last night, I was a co-host of the Art of Whiskey. So we had about, I don't know, maybe 200 people there, celebrities and influencers and politicians, and then lay people who love whiskey. And it was beautiful to see them collaborate and connect and talk about the possibilities in their future. So I'm excited to hear what Spencer and Victoria are going to be talking about with possibilities in this hour that we could take with us and make possibilities even greater in our worlds.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're diving into not only the communication part of the possibilities, but in business, when we consider all the possibilities, think of the iPhone, think of the computers, think of the fact that back in the 70s, we didn't even have these, or 80s, right? This was, who would ever think that you would have to buy water, right? You just go to the tap and you have water. There you go. And the possibilities will always keep changing with AI, with all the different technologies that are coming about. So how can we adapt to the possibilities? Victoria, I'll leave it up to you.
Well, I actually think change management is a highly underrated skill and deeply necessary for us in business. Now, I'm slightly biased in that I've actually led large change management teams for some of the companies I've worked for. But I think when we also look at skills, the finite skills that are really important, as you said, AI is changing how we work, and what gets left behind, if you will, is the much more complex skills, the human skills of innovation, of problem solving. But when I'm looking to hire people, one of the things I look for beyond the skills that they bring and their propensity to learn new skills is that flexibility in the way they think, the resilience to handle the new change and challenge that will come before them.
Definitely. Let me ask you a question on that. When you hire a new person, do you ask them what their ambitions, what their future looks like?
It's not always in the first interview, but that's, as a leader, that's one of the things that I think is critically important, is to understand the goals and objectives, both personally. By the way, I talk a lot about whole human leadership. We show up as our whole humans to work every day, understand what goals and objectives they have for themselves. And it's my role as their leader to certainly help on the professional front. I'm happy to do what I can personally. If there's, a network I can share, or other skills or experience, my own lived experience, I could potentially share with them.
Nice. And Spencer, leaving it up to you, when we consider the possibilities of change, as Victoria was telling us, how do you deal with that?
We have to be adaptable. So the world is constantly evolving. We're changing, and we have to be adaptable to the flow of where we think that we need to go. Now, ultimately, we should have self-efficacy and belief in ourselves that we can roll with the punches, so to speak, but understand that nothing is written in stone. We have to be able to flow with everything. And I think that's what's made and helped me be successful, is an opportunity will present itself. And we can either be closed to that opportunity or open to that opportunity. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people allow self-doubt to creep in, and they have the reaction of, oh, I don't know if that's possible. Well, if you don't think it's possible, it's never going to happen. Allowing ourselves to be open to the, maybe I can make that a reality, will present us and eventually get us to the point where those become realities. And business is all about making those opportunities realities.
So, Dr. Andrea, I'm wondering, how crazy is Vegas right now with the possibilities of not only change, but it can actually change people's lives, because some people are betting their house.
Well, they're betting their houses, they're betting their lives, they're betting their relationships. Some people take any kind of, whether it's politics or a football game, people get angry about it. So like there's people already arguing and fighting over who will win or could win, or the possibilities of opinion of who should have been here to begin with, and they're not even here, So it does change people's lives. And I love how Spencer and his business, I'm reading about you about how play into the physicalities and how that brings into world. We're talking about a game we play, but it's serious business, multi-millions of dollars, and people flying all over the world. I have a friend who flew in from Switzerland last night to be here.
Wow. Yeah. So you were at an event last night and it involved whiskey.
Yes.
How did the event start and how did it end?
Well, it was funny because, there's an evolution of an event. And I'm the kind of person, I always say I would like the party to start at 11 p.m. Not at 11 p.m. the time. I want 11 p.m. to start at 7, because how people are at 11 at a party, regardless if there's whiskey or not, they're fun. They realize they're short on time, so they want to hurry and make sure they get in everything that they want to get in as far as meeting people and the camaraderie and the picture taking in groups. They have a community, and at 7 they come in with the person that they're with, and they kind of like hi, make the niceties and scroll around, and they're not merged into a community together. And so that's how it started. People come in, I'm refined, I'm lovely, I'm going to taste, and then the next thing you know, they're grabbing grabbing the thing. Oh, this one's great, because at a whiskey tasting, you get a sample of whiskey that's like the little samplers are like this. But you have 12 of those and you're a happy girl. Now, I am, or guy, I'm not heavy into drinking at all, although I did want to sample some things. And there was definitely a winner. I had the most people directing me to one table, but that's what it was. People, that whole whiskey idea of drinking is they start with something very small. And then the next thing you know, they want to, purchase bottles and figure out how they can bring that product into their own bar or into their own business or just for their own personal use. And that's how things kind of start in anything in life, I've really noticed. And I would like to start people earlier. I could see Victoria and Spencer doing the same thing.
Definitely. I think when you consider engaging someone, right? And the engagement doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. And you're right. It starts small. And I think that's one of the most important critical things about possibilities, that we should not go into, yes, I'm going to have the Super Bowl, but before the Super Bowl, you have all these tons of games, all these eliminations of the possibilities that can become, right? So we have two teams who made it to the Super Bowl, but the other teams, they played a big role in developing this thing that's going to happen, right, on Sunday. And so when you consider business is sometimes you may think of a big idea, but you still have to do all the little things that are going to make it come together, right? I see Victoria's smiling over there. And Victoria, what are your thoughts on starting small and scaling it?
Well, I for business for sure, for anything, although I will acknowledge I am not a startup girl. Although I actually have started businesses, and I'm much more of a scale and grow. However, I'm also a huge proponent of having side hustles, particularly if you want that to grow into what could potentially be your full-time job. And that starts very much, small, and then you grow it. But also I think about, as you're talking about relationships and engaging with people, I approach it from a place, the way in which I network is twofold. One, with strategic intentionality. Yes, I want to get connected to this person, to hire them, hire me, buy from me, whatever it is in business. But the other, way in which I do that is completely organically. Like there's no two networks for me. There's not one for, for personal and one for professional. I would be leveraging the situation that Andrea, you're in right now, and using and whiskey night to like just meet people from a place of like fun and authentic like relationship build. And so that's starting small. We're, breaking bread or sharing some alcohol together, but where that can go, those two creates endless possibilities. And so I approach it from a place of generosity and not greed. And it starts small. Like I think I had worked really hard at one point to try and connect with one of the most senior clients in a very large client portfolio I had just taken over. Couldn't get in front of her yet. We're hockey moms and we met in the hockey arena. And that changed forever. Like the dynamic of our relationship that started, with some commonality around the hockey mom experience, then how it translated in business. So that was really small, and it grew, and it was incredibly fruitful. But I opened myself up to, possibilities again, and just engaging in a very different way.
That's awesome. And Spencer kind of talked about that earlier. It's not about the money, it's about the engagement, and that the money will come later. Can you go deeper into that, Spencer, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit of the exact opposite of Victoria. She mentioned she's not a big startup person. I love startups. I love the excitement of making things a reality. So I've done multiple different endeavors where start it up, pass it on, let someone run with it, because the excitement of those things, of doing something for the excitement of making it real. We all have ideas. We all have these things in our head that we think about that we maybe want to pursue. I love the idea of taking those small little minuscule back of our head, back of our thought processes, and make those happen. So in the business of possibilities, those are how everyone can be slightly different and still come together and realize that what excites one person doesn't excite the other person, but there are possibilities of those two people coming together and saying, hey, let's make this huge, because I like the adventure of where business can go. I have done very well for myself to where money's fine and money's fun, but money allows for other adventures, but it's never been the main pursuit. I've made it in this far in business without it being the main endeavor. I love going to work, loving what I do. I have always had the impression that you should not wake up having to chase money, because that makes jobs basically miserable, because you're only pursuing one thing. You should pursue happiness first. It's the John Lennon quote of, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he said, I want to be happy. And then they said, you don't understand the question. Well, most people want to wake up happy. I mean, money might make you happy, and that's great. But at the end of the day, are you really happy? So the business possibility of enjoying your life is probably the best answer or pursuit that we can have. And if we're just pursuing money, hopefully that makes you happy. But happiness should be the leading endeavor of what we strive for. Because at the end of the day, you may not be rich, but you will be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on startups. Actually, I have an event on Saturday that I'm part of a startup on that. And I was on a conference this morning at 6 a.m. with someone who we're doing a launch party on April 20th, because we're starting something really, really unique. And, we're in the beginning stages of it. So for April 20th, we're doing something here in New York, and it's just going to be phenomenal. But it's the excitement of building something, the excitement of empowering other people. And we're not even looking at the money aspects. We know it's going to come because of what we're putting together is really phenomenal, right? So we're doing a two-part. We're doing a brick and mortar, but we're also doing an online business. So it's a twofold type of deal, and it's just going to be phenomenal. But you said one thing. It's not about the money. It's about, if you do this, is it the impact? What impact are you looking to create? And for me, that has been what's my drive my whole life. What impact can I do for one person? That's all that matters, right?
Right.
And if I can impact more than one, man, I'm blessed if I can.
Absolutely.
Sifu, I've had a recent flip. My whole life, I've always been about impact only, serving others, serve, and to the point of detriment to myself, because I give so much
Right.
and love giving to others. And when I started a nonprofit, and through having a nonprofit, I still always gave. And then I realized that I was not creating a sustainable business for the nonprofit by doing that. And then I realized that's kind of what I was doing in my regular business as well, because then I had to scurry and chase and create things because I was giving more than so I'd bring in money and do great things, and then I'd invest it on somebody else or in other things or in other philanthropy. And it's only been in this last year where I actually took time off and sat and regrouped them. Like, what's the foundation of who I am and what I want to do? And how do I want to create the rest of my life with my husband? You know, what do we want to do here? That I realized that it's, that I needed to make money important, not make money important as its own entity, but to be able to use it in a strong, purposeful way so that it created sustainability so that I could continue to give, because that's what I was noticing. And I'm sure I would love to hear what you guys think about that. This idea that, you know, it's that money's not important to it, or it's not the impact, but that at the same time, if we don't have it to move and roll things forward, how do we continue? So it's been a huge eye opener for me. So Spencer, why don't you address that?
I think if you go into business thinking that it's only about the money, then you're going to be just chasing the money, and you're going to eventually ruin your network. You're going to affect your clientele and your customers because they will sense that you're only about the money. There is the belief that, oh, money's not important. And I'll say right now, money's important because it allows you to do the things that you want to do. But it can't be your only concern, because eventually what you'll do is you'll screw over your customers for more money. You can make that the priority, and people sense that. People will understand that you only care about the money. There's a reason why lawyers, so to speak, have a bad name when they're just concerned with making more money on their cases, or when doctors overbill because they just want to increase the amount of money coming in. So if you think about all the businesses that we don't necessarily trust, maybe a car mechanic because we think that they're overcharging us. If you think that someone's just in it for the money, we eventually pull back our business of, I don't need to give you my money. So money is absolutely important, but it can't be the driving force of your business. It's about the engagement and making the customers happy. Now, that doesn't mean the customer's always right, but happy customers at the end of the day tell other customers that you are a good business, and that does help grow your business, which does bring in more money. So it has to be a sort of tit for tat relationship of money is important because it allows you to do things with your business. But if it's the driving force behind your business, eventually those customers are going to realize that, and that's how you lose your business.
Love it. Love it.
I think about, you know, Simon Sinek's original Start With Why, that, you know, his TED Talk that went viral, you know, but where he says people don't buy like, you know, what you're selling, they buy why you're selling it.
Yep.
And I do think that's critically important. And so what we saw over the last number of years, and COVID, if there's any positive out of it, was the reflection we all had as humans over what was much more important to us. And we saw, as not only employees, but as consumers, that we wanted to work with and buy from companies that aligned with purpose. And so that becomes critically important to articulate the purpose. And I think, money and profits, it's an outcome. It's an outcome, but we're doing it because we're solving a market need for some product, for some service. That's the purpose behind it. And the way we deliver it is around the values and, and building the right kind of cultures. But again, that's all, the outcome becomes great employee engagement, and which drives productivity and bottom line dollars. If we're focused on our customers, much like Spencer said, good delivery sells. Good customer care sells. I actually, tend to build loyalty from customers or from companies that mess up, and the recovery process with me is phenomenal. You've almost locked me in for life, around that. And so I think if we're, thinking much more, again, connected to purpose and alignment to our own values, then we have greater strength in business, which drives stronger profit.
I have to agree. Obviously, I agree with all of you, but for me, it's always, and Andrea, you touched upon it, who you are. Who are you? And that's a question that maybe we lie to ourselves about. We think we're someone, but when we sit down and go into a deep meditative type of situation and ask the real honest questions and really allow the answers to come, is who are you? Who am I? And how am I going to serve? And then the other thing is the money aspect. You can't be broke and help people. You need to be rich to help people. So make money. Make money. The more money you make, the more people you can help. If you make money because you just want to hoard it, that's useless, right?
Yeah.
You don't make money to hold on to. You make money an abundant amount so you can help. But being poor, being broke, that's not a way to live anyway.
No, you're gonna be struggling day to day, and where if you're broke every day, you're waking up thinking, how can I make money? Because I have to survive. Everyone has to survive, and money does help with that survival. But if every day that's your first and foremost thought, eventually you're going to try to take advantage of someone potentially, and that person's going to ruin your reputation. And once your reputation is ruined because it'll get out that you're only about money, then good luck getting your reputation back.
Yeah, it's interesting. Relationship capital is, one of our greatest assets. And that's my mantra is I'm always about building relationships. So I call it a long-term. In fact, I teased somebody yesterday because they were talking about something. And I said, I don't want to do transactional business that I consider a one-night stand where they want you to do something, buy something, and then you never hear from them again.
Yep.
I'm looking for a long-term relationships with everybody that I do business with. And that I love it. I also, Sifu, I'd love to hear from them too, I love that we're speaking well-rounded about other things that you guys find important and impactful. But I also would love to hear specifically about what this is doing for your business right now, the possibilities for you in your businesses and how things are happening for you. Victoria, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I sign a lot of my social media posts with #unstoppable. The other one is no excuses. So I live, this for me means endless possibilities. No one is going to prevent me from achieving the goal or objective that I have set for myself. And so I have lofty goals at that. I'm in career transition. I made the decision to leave my last company in the summer and am currently interviewing for a number of C-suite positions and will, the possibility for me there. And I'm maniacally focused on finding the right kind of organization with the role that will challenge me, with a leadership team that has the same kind of values that I do and can have greater, impact. I'm also a professional public speaker. So I do I'm looking forward next month. And International Women's Day /month is one of the busiest times of the year for me. And so looking forward to having the opportunity to impact many others by sharing my story, my journey, some of the life lessons that I wish, my 20-something-year-old executive self would have known and embraced around, authenticity and vulnerability and some of these things around whole human leadership. And I also published, we'll have two books this year, one that just came out last month on personal branding and another that will come out on leadership later this year as well. So lots and lots of not just possibilities, but like amazingness for 2024.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that seizing opportunity is how we can pursue our own personal passions. And when those opportunities arise, we have to grasp at them. 2 years ago, if I would have just been content being a fitness coach, personal trainer, running a studio, I could very easily be a happy camper. I actually was talking with a friend yesterday, and I was like, there's nothing in this life that I couldn't enjoy if I just did one aspect of my business, and I would be very happy. But the enthusiasm of going to work is eventually going to wane, because the challenges and the excitement of the opportunities is partially what drives me. It probably drives most of you. We want to have the enthusiasm of the possibility of what if. And that's what led me to start doing more, to be more impactful, because I could affect one person at a time, or maybe up to 5 to 10 people at a time in my studio, but helping others in a greater audience appeal is what led me to start doing the education for physical education teachers, because there's an opportunity for them. Once I help them understand how there's an approach and a science and a realism for fitness-based physical education, where we can affect 100 students a day, 100 students, and hundreds of thousands of schools, there's the possibility of an endless audience that can be impacted by a positive message of finding activities that we enjoy so that we can be healthier, we can have fun doing it, and just growing that impact is an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. Austin, thank you for joining us, by the way. I really appreciate you being here with us. When you consider the possibilities that are endless, I think every one of us here understands that truly well. But we, I think, have to continue to help others understand that their possibilities are also endless. I talk to so many people, they're in their 40s and they go, I'm so old. Like, what? You're so old. You're 40 years old. And they're like, yeah, I'm so old. I'm like, no, you're not. So when you consider the possibilities, are you putting a limit on your possibilities? And are you? And why? Why are you doing that to yourself?
I don't know. I don't know. I just turned 50 and I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like the best is still yet to come. I now have the deeper understanding of my belief in myself, and that only comes with time. When I was 20, I thought I was old. When I was 20, I thought I knew everything. Now that I'm 50, I realize how little I did know. And even into my 40s, it was still a learning adventure, but allowing for the deeper understanding of who you really are, and that age really is just a number, we can then move forward. And I truly believe that at 50 years old, I'm just now reaching my stride.
I want to break out on the song. It's just what's that song? Nothing's gonna hold me down.
So I got to keep on moving.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride.
Yes,
there you
go. Well, Sifu, why don't you share? What are the possibilities in your future? We didn't get to hear from you.
Well, I am, like I said earlier, I am in the process of starting a new company. Both physically and virtually. And then the other thing,
share what the name is yet? Is that Can that be revealed yet, or is that still a secret teaser for next time?
It's a teaser for now, but
Ooh,
it's
okay.
coming. It's coming. So we're working on a lot of different things. And the other thing is, someone just reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we want you to consider being part of this adventure that's happening, and we want you to have a conversation with someone." So the possibilities are there because of the way I present myself all the time. Because when I say I'm going to be somewhere, I show up. And if I can't show up, I definitely let them know. But the other thing is, my actions speak for themselves. So for example, you may enjoy this, Spencer. So for up to the December of 31 of last year, I had posted 730 consecutive workout videos, consecutive for 2 years. Every single day, I did a workout video, and I did it in the morning, and I showed. The reason for that was to help someone say, "Hey, you know what? I need to regain my health. Oh, I want to do something." And then so this year, my goal is 500 push-ups every day. And I've been doing them from December 1 to now. But now I'm like, 500 seems so easy. So now I'm up to 600 a day. But because I figured it's a leap year, so I'm going to do 183,000 push-ups by the end of the year. But it's actually because some days I've done 700. Some days, like today, probably it'll be 700. And it's going to be way more than I thought it was going to be. But I could not do 500 push-ups a day if I didn't have it here first. If I didn't put it in my head that this is what I had to do. And people go, "Well, how do you keep track of it? How do you do this? How do you do that?" And so people are intrigued by it. I was at an event recently in California, and some people are going, "Hey, how's your push-ups going?" I said, "Well, I'm going to do some right now." They're like, "Really?" So I started doing them in the lobby. There was a bunch of people there, and I had other people join in.
I
And
love
then
it.
there was a wedding party. This was at night. We were all having fun in the lobby. There was a wedding party. The people from the wedding party came over, and they're like, "We can't believe we saw you doing push-ups, and we turned around and you're still doing push-ups." And so they came over and they wanted to learn different types of push-ups. So it was intriguing to not only when you show up in a certain way, but you do what you say you're going to do, and then have other people go, "I want to join in. I want to be part of that." And I think that is when you can enrich your own life, you enrich the lives of others. So that's the possibilities that I'm always looking for possibilities. I call it SEO, right? People think of it as search engine optimization. I see it the other way. See every opportunity. That's my SEO.
I like
Nice.
it. I'm liking it. This week I was at a private mastermind invitation only thing, and the company that hosted it, they had reached over $1 billion in revenue,
Mm.
and they're down to like 600 million. And their co-founder was speaking, and he had made a comment about, "Oh, I don't think we'll never reach $1 billion again." And as a neuroscientist, I just was like, and he's this wonderful, lovely guy. He's so funny and so engaging and so intelligent. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, when did you make that decision? They've got more opportunity, more access. We have the integration of AI now. The possibilities are that they could go over $1 billion. They could, reach 2 billion or more. So I was like, oh, I just heard that lock of, mindset, and I was like, it's so, that's something for me. I'm always thinking, what are the limitations that people have, even like when just you don't have to be a multimillionaire to have that too. Like people driving down the street, and I'll hear things like, "Oh, we're never going to get there because of the traffic." And I have the mind belief that the way is going to merge open for me perfectly. Or if I'm delayed, I always like, "Oh, I'm so grateful. I have no idea what I'm missing that could have been negative for me. This is a blessing." And, so creating the possibility within your own mindset and recognizing when you're limiting things that seem insignificant, but can be a big deal and ruin your whole day if you allow them to take over.
Andrea, so you asked us all, tell us about your possibilities.
Well, so I spent my whole career helping other people achieve their greatness. And so I always have a joke. I say, they spend, pay me, hundreds to hundreds of thousands of dollars so that I can help them make millions and multi-billions of dollars. And so for the first time, I am creating my own courses because I've been doing courses for people since 2007. So I'm doing my own stuff this year,
Nice.
really expanding on the neuroscience because, when we take the limitations away from people and allow them to expand what they do. And I'm starting my relationship capital community. So I'm aligning people who are awesome and fun and like to manifest and talk business at the same time, who also like to travel and do things. We're all going to mastermind and go on trips together. And I've noticed that when I allowed that world to open up, the people are just falling right in place and just coming in the door. I don't have to chase them. I don't have to chase money. And at the same time, I show up. And things are going to be quite lovely because I'm actually putting me first.
Woohoo! Good for you. A lot of times we talked earlier about helping others, and you even talked about how you've helped so many people, and then you actually this year decided to sit down with yourself and find out who you are and why you do the things you do. So understanding that you do come first, because the first thing I do every morning is I pray. I pray on gratitude. I pray for my kids, for my family, for the abilities that I have been gifted with. Because for me to do even one push-up is a gift. And I don't take anything for granted. I am always in gratitude. In the middle of the day, somebody will cut me off, and I'm like, man, I hope you're going to have a great day. I hope you get to where you're going safe and stop being such a jerk, but I still pray for them, even though they cut me off, right? So when you consider everything that you're doing for you, I think that's the most important thing. You have to always take care of you, just like on an airplane. You take the oxygen mask first, then you help others. We need to always consider us first in order to help many, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, since we're going to be wrapping up on time, Victoria, why don't you share a little bit about then, your business, say your business name again, and then what you would like to do for people to get in touch with you, work with you, so forth.
Yeah, so I have a website that's the best way to connect with me, which is up on the screen right now, victoria-pelletier.com, where you can learn about the keynotes that I deliver. There's a lot of the writing and the content there. The books are there, but also people choose to link and connect out on other social platforms. They can do that directly from the site. So looking forward to connecting with people.
Yeah, it's so lovely to see you again too. Victoria's just a doll. And Spencer.
You can get a hold of me through my website, which is fitness.Pe.com. The best method is actually probably through Facebook at my group, which is Stronger Together Education Academy. And my small goal is to educate everyone on how they can approach their fitness journey more scientifically. I do focus on helping PE teachers, physical education teachers, deliver a more fitness-based curriculum, because we're missing out on an opportunity of educating our youth on how they can be as healthy as possible. It's partially why we have an obesity epidemic here. We have a sedentary lifestyle epidemic, because we're just not teaching them how to move and control their bodies the best way possible. Yes, playing games is fun and playing games is great. However, if we're not teaching our youth how to apply exercise-based protocols that they're going to use, there's too many people walking into the gym or anywhere to be physically active, walking in at 25 and going, I don't know any of this. There's too many people saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to exercise, and I don't know how to be healthy. Well, we can teach all those things in school. We teach geography. We teach math. We teach science. Why aren't we teaching the one subject that is used every day for the rest of our lives? And that's our body. The human body is an amazing machine. And if we teach people how to use it properly, it does amazing things.
Love it.
Mhm.
Love
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. I want to thank you guys for being here. I know we're really wrapping it up. Do us a favor, like the show, tell people about it. We're here every Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I lost my voice this week, so.
I know. I was so impressed when I heard him talk today because he was like, I'm not sure I'm going to have a voice. And I'm like, I'm just thinking positive. By the way, I'm Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller. You can reach me through www.theredcarpetconnection.com. Go to my free gifts page. I always have something up. Right now we have a free IA book. Yeah, AI. When I said AI, it sounded weird to me. And we'll be having a course there for you guys to take as well. And Sifu, where should they go for you?
Right here. Right here.
I love it.
I'm everywhere. Just look up C4 Raphael. You'll find me.
Lovely.
Thank you, everybody. Have yourself an exceptional rest of this Friday. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep smiling.